Ooh, such echo. 1, 2, 3. All right. Is there so much echo? All right, guys, please give it a few minutes to set things up. And Andras from Ether.Cards will be joining in a split second. All right. Mm-hmm. All right.
Hey, Roman.
Hey, Andras. Great to have you.
Thank you for the invite.
Sure. Happy to have you here. Okay, let's give a few minutes until everyone joins, and we're going to be starting.
Yep.
I'm just going to be fixing a few technical difficulties right now. Just too many phones on my desk right now, trying to make sure everything goes smoothly. But as always, there are always sometimes difficulties.
I know the feeling.
Cool. Thanks so much once again for spending some time out of your super busy schedule. Shall we give it 1-2 minutes for everyone to join? All right. Mm-hmm. So adding Ether.Cards as a co-host as well. I'm not sure if you guys want to be accepting it.
Not sure who is behind Ether.Cards right now. We've got a few people who we share the account with from the team.
Cool. Is Dave joining us all? I think Dave is...
Would be nice.
Yeah, okay. Let's see.
Let me ping him as well.
Mm-hmm. All right. All right, cool. I think let's give it another minute, and we'll be officially starting. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Cool. Right. I think we just not going to waste any more time, and we'll just proceed. And so basically, like a quick introduction. I'm Roman of CryptoJobList. So we're going to be hosting this hopefully weekly. I don't know. We'll see how it's going to go. But super excited to be running this Twitter space. I think it's going to be first one of. We probably should have been starting them quite a while ago, but better late than never. So and I'm just going to be kind of talking to different founders and different companies and different teams about their company culture. How did they grow? How did their team is growing and scaling? Whom they're hiring? And everything about it. And I think at the end of the chat, we're going to open some room for Q&A, so people can ask questions. Maybe the people can apply to jobs right away or comment. So without further ado, I'm gonna introduce Andras, who's co-founder, CEO of Ether.Cards. And Andras, can you tell us a bit more about Ether.Cards and how did it come about?
Hi, everybody. Yes, it's a long story. We have been in the space for quite a while. It started in 2013 in the blockchain space. We actually 2013 was when Bitcoin was $10, so it was like ancient times. And We actually built and deployed the first Bitcoin ATM in Asia, but after that, we wanted to do something more complex in the technology and wanted to build a system where anybody can build their own tokens. Ethereum did not yet exist, so we forked Ripple, we removed XRP so it cannot be pumped and dumped, and then we built in ring signatures on Monero to make it more private, and built a distributed asset management system. It was good, it was okay, but later that year, Ethereum beta came out, and it was so much better than we dropped whatever we had. We started to work with Ethereum since the beta days. We work with a lot of different projects and companies, and also got into NFTs like almost 4 years ago, way before it became popular. And very quickly, we went through the usual, yay, we can put a JPEG on the token phase, and wanted to build something that can actually use the technology for what it was meant for. And did a lot of things like ticketing system for DEF CON and for other events. We did NFT systems that could meaningfully connect physical object with NFTs, which is not easy to do it non-gimmicky way in a non-gimmicky way. But we did it. We demoed it three years ago. Nobody gave a damn because nobody knew about NFTs at that time. But we kept building in the space and eventually reached a realization that what is one of the things that is really needed by the space in terms of open source developers and in terms of blockchain people in general is to build a system where you can enable creators economy. At that time, that phrase did not actually exist, but that is what we started to build. And right now we've got a system with Ether.Cards that is a community management and growth and engagement framework that can be used by anybody with a community. Could be a service provider like you, Raman, or an artist, or an actor, or an athlete, or an open source developer. What we build with Ether.Cards is a community management and engagement system where you can provide value to your community, and in turn, the community can provide value to you. Basically means give you money. And we built this system, and it's been an incredible ride since March 15th, since our release. We had been working with many awesome people. The team grew in an incredible rate, and in general, we are having the time of our lives, and we don't even know when weekend is.
Yeah, it's starting in a day, just a reminder. But yeah, I definitely remember your Akomba Tumbusa terminals and
yes,
in Singapore in some of the bars. That was really amazing and kind of novel. I think also was one of the first days when I learned about like Bitcoin and Ether. Cool. So like as far as I understand, like before Ether.Cards themselves, like was it just like you and someone else and Dave, I guess, or were you collaborating with a few like people here and there, or what was kind of the size of the team?
It was a loosely knit team of like 4 to 5 people. Some of them working with me full time, some of them working with me as needed. But it was really a skeleton team of people who has been working together sometimes for decades.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's so you basically had like a core of people that you could trust, that knew you knew them, you kind of everyone knew what you guys capable of, and kind of had like initial kind of trust between you guys. Because I guess a lot of people who are starting in this space just now, they're usually like solo founders, or I mean, in best case scenarios, like just 2 people or so, and they're trying to get started. And all of you guys were technical, as far as I understand. Is that right?
Yes, most of us, except my co-founder Ben Ong, who was more from the business side, and he could be one of the reasons that this endeavor became way more successful than the previous ones, because he is the one who makes it an actual company. He's the one that makes sure that salaries are being paid, and things like that. That is kind of beyond my event horizon many times.
Yeah, got it. So back in, so I guess like before you mentioned you launched Ether.Cards in March 15th, that's when the contract went live?
Yes, that's when the contract and the sales started. Obviously, the project itself started much earlier, almost like a year earlier. But
Okay.
that one, we were ready to actually launch the first version of the product.
So at the time, like pre-launch, how many people were you guys?
Pre-launch, I think it was still like 6 to 7.
It's pretty much the same people that you've been.
Yes, maybe one or two additions. Yes.
Cool.
Let me think. 1, 2, 3, 7. I think 7. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
How many people are you guys now?
38.
Wow. That's a phenomenal growth. How
It
it's
is. Yes.
how it started, how it's going,
Yes.
Twitter. Cool. So how do you feel about like getting so many people on board, and what's the kind of the structure of the team
Mhm.
so far? Who's doing what?
Um, in in uh, in many ways, we had we had logged out multiple times and continuously. It somehow it feels. I'm sorry, I don't want to derail this conversion into spiritual realms, but in many
No,
ways
okay, okay.
it many ways it seems that we managed to code in all the favors and good karma that we might have created in the past 5, 6, 7, 10 years, and suddenly everything kind of fell in place. It we did not grew one by one. It has been we kind of acquired and ingested smaller teams.
Okay. Were they like?
So that was again something that it was in some ways unexpected. For example, there was an extremely experienced team that we met during that 3 years ago time when we were building the first NFT prototypes in San Francisco at the Consensus Accelerator. Um, and there was another team there that we met them there. That was a group of three brilliant people from Romania, and they were working on a different project. And just when we actually desperately needed people, they pinged us that, hey, we just finished our project. Is there anything we can do together? And boy, there was. and
Awesome.
and then again, through a different connection, I got introduced to a young person who is a leader of a team from Transylvania again, who joined with his team, which meant like 7 additional people.
Wow. That's like crazy growth in batches, in good batches, in good
Yeah,
numbers of
yeah,
people.
and what came with it, that I got not only individual people but also well-established structures and product development and project management, which is always very difficult when you grow the team one by one and try to put the right people into the right place. Many of this was actually solved by acquiring smaller structures.
Interesting. I would say it's not very common, like at least to my knowledge, to see like projects that are kind of still relatively young, right? The
Yeah.
people been in the industry for quite some time, kind of grow through acquisition at the early stage.
It did,
Um,
yeah. It did help that we had in the first month we had a revenue of about $20 million, and that kind of helped with the stability to be able to commit to a longer time.
Understood. Yeah, I think like we have a mix of people who are listening to us right now, both like founders and people who are trying to join a company or is trying to grow their company at an
Mhm.
early stage. And I think it's like very useful to know that there is like no one way that companies grow and become successful. There's a plethora of ways to grow your team and
Yes.
to hire and to scale. And I think no one should like pigeonhole themselves into like one way of only acquiring through recruiters or only acquiring through friends, or only acquiring through job
Yeah,
boards.
absolutely.
I think being open to all opportunities is like one of the great like lessons
And
here.
yeah, and this is basically two things that happened that was unusual. The one is that usually, at least my experience is the startups, my startups as well, fail because there is one or two areas where there is a lot of talent and fantastic progress, but other areas fall behind. Like even the best tech idea will fall if there is no good project management, no good product support, or no good marketing or business development. And and somehow again it looks like that I'm sorry, this is, I know this is not a model that you can just follow, but somehow it seems like that the stars aligned again, and I got people for all of these roles who were bloody good, and I could quickly learn that I can let them do what they need to do. I don't need to micromanage. I don't need to oversee them. If I tell them this is the direction, as I said in my tweet, I kind of wave my hand into the desired direction, and they just get it done. And
It's amazing.
that is something that was missing from, at least I feel missing from before. That I did not have people who I could actually trust with getting things done.
Mm. Understood. And how's like the team communication going on right now? Are you guys all on Discord and working from the same Discord?
Mhm.
Do you have like some weekly, daily stand-ups?
Yes,
Uh,
yes. That is Telegram, but it doesn't really matter. It could be any kind of async communication tool, and we do have a daily stand-up, which is not easy to do because we have team members from Australia, from Singapore, from Malaysia, from Romania, from Portugal, from Germany, from the US, and from Hungary. So we had to find a time when everybody kind of are able to join, and it's became right now 8 p.m. Singapore time, which kind of attainable for anybody from Australia all the way to the East Coast US. And we do have a daily stand up. We do have regular meetings. So what usually happens is that we have the daily stand up. For me, it's 8 p.m. That's where I actually start my work in many ways. And then after the daily short two stand ups, because we have a non-technical and a technical stand-up, there is a flurry of short meetings with varying combination of people that to work out the details and the problems and the issues of the day. And after that, people do and work. And the rest of the communication is usually async on Telegram and Telegram groups.
mhm. Cool. Have you guys like outside of work? Have you guys tried doing like async days or days where you kind of just hang out, or do you have anything like that in your weekly or
What
monthly process?
what do you mean outside of work?
Like
I know, I'm joking. I'm joking.
I see, I see.
Somebody brought up this fascinating concept of day offs recently, and it was really interesting to learn about it.
Yeah, you got to make sure not to burn out in this market.
Uh, in some ways you are right, and I do see some signs of some of the people who are pulling crazy hours, and we are doing whatever we can to mitigate that. But in other ways, this project, I don't actually feel I'm working because this is probably the most exciting things I've ever done in my life in many ways. So it doesn't seem to be that I am actually,
Mhm,
you know,
mhm.
getting to burnout. But indeed, it is a very important thing to watch out for.
Mhm. Cool, cool. So like, I think that just to go back to my question, like, do you guys do any like extracurricular activities or like some maybe days, like maybe a week or a month where you just like, chat or discuss like not necessarily things that are directly related to your current project, but I don't know, like what's hot on the market right now, or just like just getting to know each other.
Yeah, 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 yeah. It happens. It happens like um regularly, but randomly on the main
Mhm,
channel. We have a main
mhm.
channel when everybody's in. It's like the proverbial watering
Water
spot,
cooler.
water cooler place where we do chat about all kind of random things and talk about the market and share jokes and whatnot. So that's kind of the place where we hang out and take it easy from time to time.
Mhm,
Other than that, we do. I'm really looking for the time when we can actually meet and hang out
mhm.
in real life as well. I mean, I work, for example, with Dave Appleton, who is just living in Johor, in the other side of the causeway, but I haven't seen him for years because of COVID.
Mhm. Yeah, I think like a lot of like I've listened to a lot of other conversations that people typically have these days in tech companies, and most of those tech companies they are started off like working in an office, and because of COVID they went remote. But I guess like for you guys, it's been like remote from day zero. Is that a correct way to understand it?
That is correct. That is correct. It is remote from day zero, and I'm fortunate enough to be able to secure a room in my apartment that is technically my office,
Mhm,
and I can just come here, and that's where I
mhm.
work. I don't actually have an office outside of the apartment.
Cool, cool, understood. So I guess there was zero adjustment time
Yeah.
between working in the office and working remotely. That's cool. Okay, yeah, I'm just like asking this as a better understand and for people to
Hmm.
learn more about like how people like, kind of working in a remote first environment,
Hmm.
or what are like maybe tips for them to incorporate in their daily life.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
on the other hand, some of the so the one of the groups that we are that basically part of the team in Transylvania, they actually have an office and they do go to the office. But
mhm.
that is kind of a subgroup of our company.
Cool, cool. Got it. Yeah, I'll proceed to a few questions like around hiring because I guess a lot of people
Yeah, yeah,
are going to be
please,
very
please.
interested about how to join a company and
Hmm.
like what are the tips you might have about
Yeah,
working. Like, have you
absolutely.
guys hired anyone? Like you mentioned, you grew a lot by acquisition, but have you guys like hired anyone by just doing the traditional or like a bit more traditional process of like putting a job ad out
Uh,
there and doing like
mhm.
sifting through resumes and getting like applications in and reviewing those applications. Have you done any of that?
Interestingly, none. But we did hire multiple individuals, but
Mhm,
it was a completely new process that we never actually did before.
mhm,
And so the way it went is that so what we are building is a community management and engagement tool. And
mhm,
what we are doing is we are our own pilot. What does it mean is that we have a very lively community on Discord, on Twitter. So on
mhm.
Discord, we have like 15,000 people right now. And what
Wow.
happened is that we have very direct and continuous interaction with the community uh, until the very last times, not for the last 2 weeks, but even now, many of my team members still do. We have been on Discord many hours a day, talking with the community and interacting with them. And what happened is that some community members started to kind of grow out. They started to do work that they thought it was missing. And it could have been marketing, it could have been software development, because I said, okay, I think you should be having this part, and somebody wrote a Discord bot that could be integrated with our system, and somebody else did a site where it was providing statistics about the NFTs that we issued, and somebody started to reach out to influencers and others to get me on shows and on talks and on streams and stuff. And what happened is that now we have one, two, I think three, almost four people who we hired from the community.
Mhm. Did you have any like interview process while you were hiring them, or what are like the
No,
main checks that
mm,
you had to like look for before you made the decision?
well, before we made the decision, we saw them we saw them going out of their way, providing value to us and for our community for weeks and for months. Mm-hmm. See, this is what makes it very different from the standard hiring process. Because what happened is, since we had a very lively community, I mean, this is our business to have a lively community, and we actually observed and naturally seen the members of the community who went out of their way to provide value. And after a while, we just could not let them do it without actually paying them, because sometimes they spent, like, I don't know, 5-6 hours a day or not, or on voluntarily. And then many times we actually talked with them and said, hey, do you want to join? Then we might as well pay for your work. And so we did.
Got it. Yeah, I think it's a really good lesson here for a lot of people who are listening, because a lot of people reach out to me, reach out to Crypto Jobs. It's like, hey, how can I join? How can I find a job? I desperately need a job, want a job in crypto. And, what do you do? Like, what do they do? And I think not a lot of people, more people need to realize that you just, you be useful and you'll be noticed. And I definitely been seeing the same thing in our community, where like people just repeatedly, retweet our tweets or reach out or give suggestions. And that is the way to go. So yeah, I just wanted to like emphasize what you just said, that, just be useful, show your value, and, organically, companies will notice you, projects will notice you, and they will, hire you. That's what you guys did, right?
Yeah. And let me tell you, so far, all of these hires worked out extremely well, because basically these people already went through a trial period. And they did it for free, and did it by being driven to actually provide value. And that is all what you need to know usually about their how they actually want to handle this work.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think it's can't emphasize this enough. But I actually had like a few questions related to like hiring and interview process, but I guess it's like not. I just realized it's very applicable to you guys.
It actually happened only one or two times that somebody suggested somebody else that this person might be a good hire, and we actually went through, we talked with them, and then we hired them. But that is actually, I think that only happened once. And that person, it could be a coincidence. There is not enough data to say so, but that person actually left after a couple of months.
Mm-hmm. So it's kind of self-filtering process almost.
Yeah, and I wonder if this is something that we could see in the future more, especially if we can enable this creators economy more, where you actually exist if you have a community. If you don't have a community, you don't actually exist, or don't because whatever you do, even if you are doing an open source technical software, or doing an online service, or being an online personality like a streamer or podcaster or whatnot, if you don't have a community, you don't actually exist, or don't actually. If you don't have actually any traction, people don't talk about your project, or don't have actually a community, you don't actually exist. And if you don't exist, then I wonder if the project that you are doing actually is going to be successful or not.
Take note, everyone who's listening here. I think one of the questions that was asked recently in our Discord chat is like, do companies hire Anons, and how do you apply to jobs as Anon? Like, what's your take on this? Do you have any Anons working on your team right now?
I have an Anon, but it's not that person is not Anon to us. He is Anon to the rest of the world. Mm-hmm. So we do know their identity, but that person remains an unknown profile on Discord, on Twitter, or everywhere else.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'll ask a tricky question. If someone like reached out and was super helpful and engaging, who is like complete unknown, you do not really even know who that person is, they're not willing to disclose their identity, would you like give significant kind of delegate significant rights or like significant kind of power to that person, or like would you hire that person, and how would you go about it?
I guess I guess there is always a possibility that could happen, but I feel that it is unlikely. If that person is not even willing to share their identity with the people, that would make it difficult to give that person responsibility and power.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Do you feel it's because like is it some of the compliance issues that you as like a corporate entity needs to deal with, or is it more of like just personal level trust?
It's more like personal level trust, and you always think, what do they have to hide?
Mm-hmm.
And the other thing is from the company's responsibility side, they can just disappear, and there is no recourse that we can do to keep them accountable or responsible for anything.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's a very good point. I was also thinking about this because definitely a lot of unknowns in the space, and crypto is kind of encouraging to be that. I think it's great opportunities to be found as an anon.
Yeah, we are very special in this case. We are technically fully doxed, so to say. So all of our identities, faces, and names are on our website, and that in my opinion, that kind of an assurance and insurance for the people using the product, that we put our reputation and our names and our career on the line.
Yeah, I agree with that, but I also wonder if there are like some other opinions. So I'm definitely going to be looking forward to our future conversations with the other companies as well. Like, what do they have to, what do they have to say about this, and how have they handled situations like that before?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, cool. Yeah, just wanted to proceed. I know that you have to be running in 30 minutes. You mentioned you have a company stand up.
It's okay. I think it is okay. It's not. Yeah. So don't worry about that. If it has to. Yeah.
All right. Have you like seen any like? I mean, I understand that you haven't hired through like a formal process or like from a kind of traditional process, but have you seen any like pet peeves, or do you have anything pet peeves that you hate about when people try to apply or when try to like engage or ask for a job in crypto? Any like kind of advice to things to avoid?
Two things, like excessive request. Just because it's crypto, some people said, okay, I'm going to need $20,000 per month to start with, and I said, okay, good on you. And the other thing that that's my pet peeve is long resumes. If you can't put if you can't put your achievements into a single page, then you are doing something wrong. In my way, I mean the bigger your list of achievements, the shorter your resume should be. Like imagine that resume that reads, I'm Steve Jobs.
Yeah. Yeah, I just wanted to mention Zero GZ. I see your raised hand, but we'll have questions at the end. So like for now, we'll just like getting, or is it someone you know?
Oh yeah. He's actually one of the person. I don't think Ogs probably. He's one of the person that we hired from the community. So he's part of my team.
Shall we give some he has
If he
raised
wants
hand.
any, if you have anything
Sure,
to
sure,
say,
sure,
by all means.
sure.
Hi, Ogs, go ahead.
Good morning, everyone. I just wanted to say thank you for this opportunity, and I am living proof, as Andras mentioned. I love this community and the people, and you're not going to find a more transparent and giving group of individuals that are genuinely concerned for everyone's well-being. The community is amazing. We have more members in here. Daza9, I think Andras also referenced, has been helping out quite a bit with scheduling events and opportunities to get the word out. I see some good loyal community members and mods. There's BRGs in here, and of course my steampunk hat hero, Mr. Dave Appleton. So thankful to see y'all and be part of this team.
Cool. Yeah. Thanks so much for chiming in as well. Um, cool. Yeah. Andras, I think I have a few more questions before we can open up to the
Yeah,
general Q&A.
yeah, of course.
What would you be looking for in an ideal candidate or an ideal like participant in your community, or like a core contributor, so to say?
Uh, a proof that they can get things done. It almost doesn't matter what. I want to see that they took an idea, took something from an idea to release something just that they could turn an idea into reality. That's basically it. If you can show that, I'm open to hire you. It's almost like that easy.
Right. But it sounds like very, like, does it only apply to technical people or to anyone?
No, not necessarily. There is always, so basically there is this ability where you can think about something and you can basically almost like you can will it into existence. Whether it's a technical process or a business process or a marketing process, it almost doesn't matter.
Do you feel like, I think with developers and people who write code, it's kind of easier to just show that? I mean, it's definitely, I find myself in those shoes, but I think a lot of people
Mm-hmm.
are non-technical, and they think like one of the most kind of biggest misconception is you need to be a developer to work in this space.
Oh no.
And
Oh no, yeah.
yes, exactly. So what do you feel like is the best way for someone who's non-technical to kind of prove their worth and to show their skills?
One example would be a non-technical person, Daza9, who is a listener. He did not put up his hand, so he probably just want to listen. But he was hi. He was a community member, and he said one day on Discord that, Antash, I think you need more marketing, and he started to bring in high profile streamers, podcasters, and a lot of other people. He talked with them. He found how to talk with them, and he made them talk to me, made them represent me on their stream, to their community. So see, that is not a technical thing. This is not a thing. This is purely marketing, and him basically a member of the community without at the beginning, without actual Ether.Cards email address. He provided more marketing power to me and to the company than at that time my actual marketing department.
Wow. Yeah, I just invited Daza right to speak. Maybe he can like comment a few words, like how did he, experience from his point of view.
I yes, hi Deza.
Hi Andras. Thanks for inviting me up, guys. Yeah, I mean, not much to say really. I just found my way into the Ether.Cards community and saw just a hole there, or at least a need in terms of marketing and getting the word out about such an epic project that people in the space hadn't heard of, or the word wasn't out there. So I just saw that, yeah, that word needs to get out there, and how can we do that? And it was really just someone without a reputation like me approaching influencers and finding a way.
What would be your advice for like other people in kind of with similar background as yours when they try to get their foot in the door in crypto and start working potentially full time in the space?
Yeah, I mean, I have no tech experience at all. I'm a child mental health worker. Um, so really, you don't need any blockchain or crypto experience. It's just finding, I think, a project you believe in, and being useful, like you're all saying, finding a gap and being useful, and there's always a way. It just for me just literally started cold emailing sports agencies or cold tweeting influencers and just taking it from there.
Cool. Yeah. One of my kind of recommendations that I usually give people who are non-technical is to write an article, write a blog post, just to show your ability to communicate and your kind of just enthusiasm in the industry and like your existing knowledge. It can be an opinion piece, it can be anything, but I think having at least a few blog posts out is like the lowest hanging fruit that anyone can accomplish, whether you're technical or not. Everyone should be able to write clearly and communicate clearly. So that's at least like my two sets of advice.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Cool. Andras, I think like one of my questions that I thought like I would ask myself, like as a founder, how do you scale yourself? What did you find challenges of kind of growing as an individual or as like as a founder?
I think in some of my startups, the problem was that I could not make it happen, meaning that I kept feeling that unless I do it, it's not going to get done or it's not going to get done properly. In this case, it is different. In this case, it's like I know and I have 100% confidence that all I have to say is discuss what needs to be done, and I don't need to check on that. I don't need to go after it and see it will be done, and probably better than I could ever be done it myself. So in this way, what happens is what happened so far that when I felt that one of the tasks or one of the kind of tasks started to overwhelm me, I could always find a person who said, please take it from me. And it happened. And what is funny, I did not end up with less things. It's just other things became kind of swell up and became important. And then I handed over that as well. And it is amazing because it is working so far. And right now, what I am doing is completely different that I did like 6 months ago, and I did not actually write a line of code for I don't know 6-7 months, and because I don't have to, because I have people who are way better in coding than I am, and that is amazing. That is an amazing feeling to find people who can trust, and they are actually better than you are, and I'm completely I feel blessed.
Cool. Do you feel that happened because like your mindset changed, your attitude changed, or is it just because of the nature of the project that you're working on right now? You're on mute, by the way.
I know. Something happened with my iPhone. I could not find the unmute. This I've been thinking about that. I don't actually know what happened. I do think that my mindset changed when we started on this one. It was a really much an urge. Dave could talk about it. I know he's out shopping, so I don't think he will be able to speak right now. But he basically put it into words that when we earnestly started this in about a year ago. We have been working on it for a long time, but like something clicked, something happened last November, and I said, okay, we are on. We're going to do this, and then things started to fall in place. Things started to happen. There must have been something that I felt this determination. I don't unfortunately, I don't know what changed or what exactly that made this change in me, but it was focus and determination that made it happen.
Cool. Yeah, I definitely like in my case, I usually find that project is a big pull for things to work. Sometimes you're working on a project that you find interesting and it's not necessarily meant to be. I have a few failed startups as well, and like with crypto jobs, this has just been like it's been kind of chasing me, and like people just been like applying to jobs, and that's something that is needed. So it's kind of a market pull rather than you as a founder trying to push it out to the market. So
Yeah.
maybe it's the case with you guys as well. You just hit the wave.
Yeah, absolutely.
One last thing that I wanted to ask before we open the floor to everyone. Like, do you guys are you looking for anyone right now? Anyone hiring or any specific roles that you're trying to fill right now? People that you desperately need?
Yes. We always need developers, full stack developers who can help and who can work independently without constant oversight and can deliver stuff that the way I mentioned. But other than that, we can always we need people who can only do like website development. We need people who can help us with design to delivering design elements and everything else. We need people who can help us with marketing. We need people who can help us with business development. So anybody, almost anybody is needed. The most important thing right now that there is an incredible pressure on us to deliver projects. We've got a pipeline of like 20, 25 projects to be delivered. So software developers are still needed. Yes.
What's the best way to kind of apply and reach out and show their interest?
That's a good question. I think the best is to come to our Discord channel and talk to one of the moderators. And in that way, we can find a way to talk with you, see what you've done, and then see what you are capable of, and then see if both parties would like to kind of make it a continuous or full-time thing.
Cool. Are you hiring anyone who's like non-technical at the moment?
Yes. We can always use people, marketing. We can always use people to help with even very difficult and demanding, but not technically high-level tasks like managing communities, even being moderators. On our Discord, we always need people who can dedicate their time and mental health to do that.
Got it. Cool. Well, all right. Thanks so much for kind of completing the structured part of it. But I hope we can open up the floor to people to ask questions. And thanks so much, everyone, for joining. So let us know. Please raise your hand if you have a question for Andras about working in crypto, about maybe joining their team, about NFTs in general. Please keep questions a bit focused. Like, hope we can avoid some crypto 101 questions, but other than that, everything is welcome and appreciated. I think August has a question. That's the floor is yours, sir.
Andras, I'm just curious. Could you describe for the audience what your typical day looks like to give them kind of an idea of what they could expect if they're interested in joining the team?
It is really depends on the day, but usually the day starts early because that when it's Singapore morning, that is the afternoon in the East Coast. So there is a lot of meetings with East Coast people happens from 8 a.m. to like 10 a.m., 11 a.m. Singapore time. But for example, this Tuesday, my first meeting was at 5 a.m. because I had to meet a very influential person who could not make it in any other time. And then usually I've got a little bit of lull time, like from noon to early afternoon, 2-3 hours. Sometimes I even take a nap. It's amazing. And then like from 5 p.m. Singapore time again, the work starts because Europe is waking up. So most of the developers are in Europe. They are waking up, work starts, and we start to work with them. I take a break for dinner from 6 to 7, and then usually meetings with team and with potential and existing partners until about midnight. So that is the usual day. And I know when it's a weekend because I have less meetings.
Cool. All right. Daza has a question. Daza, go ahead.
Yeah, thank you. I just wanted to ask, I guess, anyone of the speakers about whether you feel jobs in crypto have particular stresses or particular strains on you as opposed to traditional jobs, and how you've learned to manage that over the years.
Good question. I think a lot of people have things to say here.
How about you? What do you think? Roman? I think it's a question is good for you as well. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I think for me personally, I think there are like a few things, like time zones. Like I'm in Singapore as well, and a lot of our kind of traffic on the crypto jobs this site and like customers, they are either in Europe or in US. And it always happens that, Friday, 6 p.m., about to just get rest. And I start getting a bunch of emails and like support requests, and I need to be responding to them, which is always kind of draining a little bit. And the same thing usually happens over the weekend. Somehow, a lot of companies like to post jobs like on Sunday. I don't know why that happens, but that's like a
that's weird.
Consistent thing. Yeah, I know. What else? I guess for me, it's a bit more personal. Like I need to stop coding and I still like ship code all the time, but I guess that's kind of my forte. But I guess I need to like work on finding someone who is like ideally also better than I am at like front-end engineering, full stack engineering, back-end. So I can delegate that and kind of direct kind of the team in the right direction in terms of what needs to be built. What else? I think those are the two main things that come to mind right now. But of course, there are, I think, like the other recurring thing that is, I think, very generally applicable to just crypto in general is like crypto payments that are a bit confusing to people. Like it's really unrelated to what I even do, but I don't know if Ether.Cards is getting the same problem. But typically what happens is that people would send some asset on a different chain that is not supported. and then it becomes a major drama of like explaining like what to do, that we cannot control some keys on certain other chains.
Oops.
Yes. And I have some clients who've been in this situation where they would, for example, send I don't know, USDT on BSC or like on Polygon or on somewhere else. And we're, for example, using Coinbase Commerce, and they like the way they accept payments, there is like no private key. It's like a smart contract that is being deployed into a pre-generated address. Anyway, so it's like very technical for them, and there is no private keys behind a certain address, and they cannot move the funds, and customers get frustrated. But it's kind of ironic, like when someone's using some cutting edge technology, like some cutting edge layer 2 solution, and they are not aware about these like risks and dangers. It's kind of, I don't know. I just makes me smile. I don't understand how is it possible. Yeah.
That's yeah. It is definitely feels like uncharted waters in many ways. We are basically defining the processes and everything else still. So it's still very early, but fortunately we did not really have these kind of problems yet. But this is very interesting because this talk made me realize how differently we do things that I did before. As you said, I don't think I actually ever seen a resume since we started it, and we have 38 people, and I wonder if it is an anomaly or like a sign of things to come.
Mm-hmm.
So
you mean like expecting more resumes in the near future?
I actually I don't see this changing.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it might change if this company is getting significantly bigger and actually need, like, I don't know, a proper CEO, not like me. And then we might actually see some resumes with experience and stuff like that. But I don't know. I feel that that is the time when I kind of will just bow out and let somebody else run the hierarchy, because I don't think I am the right person to run a company with 500 people. That's not what something I would enjoy to do.
What do you say is your like max company size?
About this.
30 people? Okay.
Yeah, I mean 50, up to 50, I guess.
50? Okay.
Yeah, but after that it becomes, I don't know if it becomes too corporate, because technically, again, because we acquired existing structures, this 38 people feels in many ways like more like 20, because they come with structures already. That makes it easier.
Cool. Got it. We can go back to the same question of kind of stresses that are particular to crypto. Vignesh has something to say. Vignesh works with Crypto Jobs List, helps us with content and Aragon.
Yeah, hey guys, glad to
Hi,
have you here.
Vignesh.
So I have like a couple of questions for you.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is like, you guys are in the NFT space, and especially at a time like this where like there's just so much going on in NFT, and everyone wants to do an NFT from Burger King to McDonald's and everyone. Like, so how do you actually stand out and like, how do you carve a niche for yourself and build a community around it at a point when everyone wants to do what you're doing? That's my first question. And
Okay,
actually, let me just finish asking my
sure,
questions,
sure,
and you
sure.
can add. Yeah, I think it's easier then. And my second question is, as a company, like, how do you deal with like maybe like bear markets? Like you guys have been around for a while, so like, what how do you deal with bear markets? So yeah, that's what I wanted to ask.
Let me start with the second question. How do I deal with bear markets? Badly. uh, when the I am about as experienced of an investor like a baboon with a dart. So when it comes to like money management, when it came to money management before, I did terribly. I simply when we had the previous all-time high at in 2017 winter, 2018 January, when Ethereum hit 1,400 the very first time, I rode that 1,400 down to 90 without technically selling, which shows that how much I am not a good trader. Every time when I trade is usually I usually it would have been better if I did not touch the whole thing. Uh, one of one of my one of my great achievements was when Bitcoin was $100. I bought 400 Bitcoins, and then I sold it all when it was 140. And I don't have any Bitcoins ever since. So I am a terrible trader, and I did not do well in the previous bear market. Now I think I learned my lesson. When I ever touch crypto, I I market buy, I market sell, I never leverage, and I cash out from time to time to save up for bear markets.
Actually, my question was more like, how do you as a company deal with bear markets? Because like pretty often I see like companies they are very happy to operate during bull markets, but once the bear market comes in, like They
Same,
feel crunched,
same,
or like like they
same.
feel like they can't operate anymore.
Same thing. Same thing. I have seen many companies that raised $250 million in the previous bull market, and they ran out of money a year into the bear market. So the same exact thing that happens if you have funds. Make sure you hedge. Make sure you cash out, sell some ether and put it into USD DAI or something. I almost said something bad. So put it into DAI or actually cash out to actual cash, and make sure that you've got a runway in pure in fiat or fiat like assets at least a year and a half or two, and then you can survive a bear market. But don't keep everything in crypto and then crash with the crypto market.
Outside of funds, would you say it's easy to, or like, how do you make sure that you maintain the kind of the builder mindset and like keep building? Or do you find it's also difficult?
It's from the mindset point of view, it is if you understand what this technology can do, then a bear market, as long as you are not short on funds, should not actually deter to you. Bear market is the time to build. Bear market is the time to build because then you can actually focus on what you need to do. And this is what happened in many places, like in the Ethereum ecosystem. A lot of things were built during the bear market. In my opinion, when it comes to a company, is the most important thing is to you don't have to worry how do you pay salaries next month. If you have enough runways, it's way easier to help to maintain the mental health to get through a bear market. And yes, bear markets will come. This no trees grow to the skies. When we are in the middle of a bull market, we think that is it, and it's going to be like sailing into the sunset without any problems. No, it's going to come. Bear market will come. So I think this is the time to prepare for that.
Cool.
I'm sorry. What was your first question?
Okay. So my first question is like about like how do you actually stand out in a space that is so crowded right now? Yeah.
It is not. Everybody and everybody's grandmother now building like NFT series of 10,000 series of different animals. We are not doing that. And everybody's grandmother is building an NFT launching platform. We are not doing that. What we are doing, there is no crowd. What we are doing, we are building a community engagement and management and monetization framework, a platform, and we are happen to be using NFTs. We are not using NFTs because they are NFTs. We are happen to using NFTs because for what we are building, NFT is actually a good fit technologically. We are not an NFT company. We are a company that provides an alternative funding and monetization method for projects with a community that, but for projects that usually don't have access to the traditional funding and monetization methods. For example, open source projects, non-DeFi blockchain projects, or projects that actually can help people. This is what we do. We are happen to be using NFTs, but we are not an NFT issuance platform. We are not an NFT company. Do you see the difference? It's like we are building something like back in 2000, early 2000, when the dot-com boom happened. There were companies that were on the internet and they were using web pages to operate, but they were not a web page builder company, or they were not a company slowly focusing on web pages. There is a big difference between the two. What we are doing, as much as I can tell, nobody else is there.
Yeah, I think that is a good analogy. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. And also, I got one more thing to say to you, Raman, about the stress in the crypto. For developers, I never seen more stressful job than to deploy a smart contract to the live net that is going to be handling tens of millions of dollars. And you know that if you made a mistake, everything will be lost and everything will be either taken or locked up, and there is nothing you can do about it. And if a bug is discovered, you can't do anything about it. So from this point of view, developing smart contracts it can be an incredibly stressful job. And I have seen, and I was told by developers that when they are doing live deployment of smart contracts, they are sweating bullets because I was told of symptoms like shaking hands and everything else, just because you know that what you are building is going to be used and potentially a lot of funds will go through, and you cannot just quickly do another deployment to update that bug that you missed or something like that. So from this point of view, it is the finality of blockchain can make it very, very stressful. And I admire the people who can take this stress.
I would say this is one of the benefits of being anon or semi-anon is like you can probably make some of that stress go away or be crucified slightly less.
But crucifixion is not a problem. The problem is that you made $10 million and it's all lost. That's more like it. And whether you are anon or not is the same.
Yeah, but the amount of steam you will get from the community, I think there was this situation with Andrei Kronia a few months ago, maybe half a year ago, where someone drained funds from something. Was it I don't remember what it was. It wasn't Wi-Fi. It was something else. And there was some class action lawsuit against him.
I see.
So
yeah,
if you have good intentions, I think it's a bit scary to be fully, have your name in front of it sometimes. Or I think a lot of developers thinking about it okay, yeah, I've tested my thing 1,000 times. I know there is bulletproof probably, but the risk is still high. Someone will still be upset for whatever reason.
Maybe. I don't think that's a good. I don't think that's a good reason to be unknown. I don't feel that it would elevate the stress too much, but perhaps some. Yeah, I still would not take on unknown developer. I think.
Okay. Yeah, that's fair. Oz had a question.
So this is Raman. Thanks again. This is more of a statement out to the crypto job space here and people involved. Ether.Cards isn't just one particular company. It's an entire ecosystem where we're changing lives across so many different sectors and segments. The partnerships I see in here now, we've got the Toddler Pillars are one of our partners. We also have a partnership with Genomes, which is more in the genomic space. There's incredible opportunity. So, just reaching out to us and contacting Andras and through the Discord, gaining some exposure, you're getting plugged into an entire network of people and companies that are changing the world in the blockchain space. So I just wanted to throw that out there so people are aware of that.
It is indeed something that is absolutely unexpected and unprecedented in many ways. If these things keeps happening, we actually have a chance to fundamentally change how software development, or in general, how creative people can monetize their creativity online. And I also wanted to say hi to Toddler Pillar. I see that they are also here and listening. They are one of our partners who are working together with an amazing series of NFTs.
Let's bring them up. Did he want something to say?
Hey, how are you? I'm always lurking. Whenever I see one of your spaces, I always jump in. I love listening to you.
Thank you. So we've got people like Toddler Pillar is a real world project with a 20 years of history. So working with people like that is an absolute pleasure, and I feel this is a great privilege. So I just wanted to say that, and thank you for trusting us with this incredibly important task to make your slightly weird babies break new grounds.
Just slightly weird babies, yeah. Partially normal babies, but yeah, no, I'm. It's been a wonderful experience so far.
Thank you.
Cool. Any more questions from the community for Andras about Ether.Cards, about working crypto, to us perhaps, to Crypto Job List? Daza9.
I just wanted to tail in on the back of that conversation about stress in the crypto space and mental health. I think the space in general in crypto, because things move so quickly, I think that adds an extra element of pressure on anyone who's working in it, as well as a kind of unpredictability. People have talked about how this is breaking new ground, and I think the unpredictableness of it all also adds extra pressure. And so even you guys have talked from the coding and dev experience, but I think even people who are collectors or investors or bought into NFT projects, just kind of watching the value or floor prices crash, you see the effect it has on people, and I think it's just something to be aware of, is people's mental health, and being aware of where we are, the strain and stress that we feel, the anxieties we feel, how are we sleeping, how are we eating. You already kind of talked about being across different time zones, and but that really impacts people's sleep, and I think the science is there about how sleep is important for health and mental health. So yeah, I guess just a shout out to be looking after ourselves for everyone.
Listen to the mental health care professional. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you, Daza. This is very important. This space can be very stressful, especially if you over leverage yourself, if you commit more than you can afford. This is really, in many ways, it's a wild west, especially if you jump into opportunities that you think they are opportunities. Don't do that. Go for the long term. Try to go for things that you can see actually being useful 5 years from now, 10 years from now, and if you must, then invest in those. And again, this is not an investment advice, but don't go for, I don't know, Shiba or whatever nonsense because it's going up. That is basically a recipe for disaster. Go for the slightly more stable stuff, and be very careful, because it's so easy to lose everything that you got or you worked for decades before. So yeah, please be very careful. And if it's too good to be true, then it's probably not true.
Solid advice. All right. Any more questions from the floor, ladies and gentlemen, sirs and madams? All right. Shall we start wrapping this up? If there is no more questions or any more tips of advice in terms of working in crypto, or any other kind of announcements that you wanted to make, Andras?
It seems to be that the space is changing, and if everything goes well, we are going to drive that change. And the change is that it is becoming a loosely connected groups of communities. And if a project or if an entity got a community, then that could be turned into success. And what we are building is the tools to be able to grow, monetize, and engage a community. And that's what we are doing. And we are happen to be using NFTs for it, but it's not an NFT drop platform. So it might actually change also how you are looking for jobs. If you feel strong attachment or a strong interest against towards a community, if you join and you're going to create value for that community, it is very likely that you're going to be recognized and going to be part of that community in a way that it could be that it is going to be a semi-accepted way for people to actually get jobs in the near future. And I think this is pretty awesome. And if you are interested in the space, if you have talents and you do have the time to help out, please come to us, visit us. You can find us on Twitter, on Discord. Be part of the community, and let's build something amazing together. And thank you very much, Raman, for the invitation. It was very good, and you did make me realize quite a few things about how unique our situation is right now compared to previous startups.
Yeah, thanks so much for agreeing to join us on such a short notice. It's definitely great having you on, and it's been great knowing you for so many years as well. I think you're one of the first people that I kind of knew in the crypto space as well, and yeah, probably even before crypto. So
it was before crypto. It was when we did the exit from Wiki, I think.
Right. I think that's where we kind of met for the first time, and I was very new to Singapore as well.
Yes.
Yeah. So I guess to wrap this up, hope you guys learned something today. Learned something from both founder standpoint of view, company standpoint of view. Hope you guys learned some tips about how to get your foot in the door. I guess I'll summarize that. Just be proactive, do things. Don't wait for kind of opportunity to drop on your head without doing actual work or without showing that you are capable of doing something, or doing, providing value for companies out there. We'll try to do this kind of more often, at least weekly. We'll see how it goes. I also don't want to stretch myself and everyone else, but I think we have another call scheduled next week about, I think slightly later, I think 10 p.m. or 11 p.m. Singapore time with Strips Finance. They're also kind of Singapore-based but international project with people all over the world working in the space. So that's going to be pretty awesome. It's more of a DeFi project. I think, as far as I remember, they do yield lookup. So that's going to be an interesting conversation as well. So make sure to kind of subscribe to our newsletter and Twitter as well. So watch out for notifications and kind of reminders. We'll try to make those announcements ahead of time. And do shoot me kind of questions or ask questions directly to me. I can see a lot of people who've been supporters of Crypto Jobs List and crypto overall here in the chat. So thanks so much, guys, for following and supporting us all this time. I think another minute to ask questions. Final minute. If you've been hesitating, now is the time. But otherwise, we're going to wrap it up and end the session.
I think it's let's wrap it up. Thank you very much for the invitation, and I'm always happy to join if it happens again that it becomes kind of timely. Please feel free to ask again. Maybe we can do the other way around as well, and invite you to our stream. Mm-hmm. And see if we can build something for you that would actually help your business with our community building tools.
Sure, happy to discuss that.
Fantastic.
Happy to discuss that. Yeah, we just got a request from Basil. Basil, I guess.
Hey, what's up, guys?
Hey, man.
Hi, Basil.
So I read, I read that's written here, Ether.Cards. What kind of cards are you creating? Because I actually own a 3D card derivative brand to some extent, and I would like to know more about your type and so on. Yeah.
So what we are building is Ether.Cards is a bit of a misnomer at this point. We are not very much Ether and not very much cards either. Ether.Cards was an IP that we had before, and we called the project like this. But we are actually in the process of rebranding because what we do is way more than Ether and way more than cards. But if you want to know more about what we do, you can visit Ether.Cards right now and see what we are doing. But what we are doing in really just in 30 seconds, we are building an alternative funding and monetization platform that can be used by anybody or any entity with a community. And we are happen to be using NFTs for that. So that is the project. It's been an incredible success so far, and we just spent about almost 1.5 hours now talking about the experiences and the I don't know. I'm sorry, I don't know when did you join about the experiences and how the team grew from 6 people to 38. And yeah, we are in the crypto space, we are in the NFT space, but we are a community engagement and management and growth tool that is happen to be using NFTs.
Okay, that kind of answered my questions adequately. Yeah, that's actually an interesting idea. So that's basically based on NFTs and not tokens or other stuff, right?
It is using a combination of NFTs and auto-deployed community spaces that can actually be accessed with those NFTs. So okay. you can create your own community and provide value to your community, and in turn your community will provide value to you.
Okay. Well, to be honest, I'm interested, and in case you need, I don't know, some expansion or some rebranding. I don't know. You told me you're doing some rebranding.
Yeah.
Feel free to check my. It's on my profile, my link tree. It has my Discord and my OpenSea. Feel free to check our work in case in case it matches your goals or your branding opinions. Let me know. We can discuss some stuff.
Excellent. Send me a DM on Twitter and we can talk.
Okay. Perfect. Thanks, man.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Cool, guys. I think we're going to be wrapping up. This has been an hour, 20 minutes. So thanks once again, everyone. I think I said it 1,000 times already, but thanks once again. I'm going to be ending this. Thank you. See you guys.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.